Violators, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Another member in the Sahel. Sahel is spreading across Africa. They say in the wisdom of our elders, the bird that has been in a cage for too long begins to think that flying is a sickness. For decades, the great island of Madagascar, the land of the red earth, was kept in a cage made of French silk. We were told who to trade with, how to speak, and who to fear. But a new wind is blowing from the Indian Ocean. It is a wind that does not stop in Paris. It is a wind that has traveled to the cold iron gates of Moscow. President Rogelina has done what the manufactured beggars fear to do. He has looked at the West in the eye and said, "My house is no longer your hallway." We were having doubts about this new president of Madagascar because he came in suit, but he said no. Just as the spirit of Ouagadougou mobilized the Sahel, the spirit of the great island is mobilizing the South. Rajolina's visit to Vladimir Putin is not a trip. It is an evacuation from neocolonialism. The anchor that was dropped in the Sahel has now found a second home in the deep waters of Madagascar. What do they say behind those heavy doors? The king of the world, Vladimir Putin, knows that Africa is the heartbeat of the future. He said to Rogelina, "Russia does not come to you with a whip. We come with a handshake of equals. Russia is offering what France never could. Security without shackles. No more advisors who stay for 50 years. Energy sovereignty. Building the power plants that will turn Madagascar's mineral into Madagascar's wealth. The end of the dollar dictatorship. Trading in our own values, our own terms. When two giants work together, the grass no longer trembles. It grows. Putin has recognized that Madagascar is a gateway to the Indian Ocean. He sees a leader who is ready to move away from the aid that poisons the well and towards the investment that builds the city.
Dear Mr. President, dear friends, allow me to warmly greet you in Russia.
Next year, we will celebrate 55th anniversary of our diplomatic relations, which were established, if I remember correctly, in 1972. Our relations have always been stable, and now I can state that Madagascar is one of Russia's important partners in Africa. Mr. President, I would like to begin our meeting with words of condolence due to two cyclones, after which more than 270,000 people were affected.
Are you waiting for the interpretation?
Are you waiting? That's good.
After these two cyclones, more than 270,000 were affected, more than 40 people were killed. Russia, for its part, is making necessary efforts to help your country provide humanitarian assistance. It is well known that your government is doing everything possible to improve the situation in the country in general, and you have good prospects here to strengthen bilateral relations in the political field. Recently, Russia was visited by a representative of the delegation from Madagascar, and I hope that today we will have the chance to discuss all matters of mutual interest. I would like to note that we have many areas to cooperate: agriculture, mining, medicine, energy, education, geology, public health. People from your country are trained in Russian universities. Many have already completed their studies, and we are ready to develop these humanitarian relations in the future and work with you on international platforms, including at the United Nations. Mr. President, we are very pleased to see you in Moscow.
I welcome you.
The first thing I wanted to tell you is thank you for the invitation that came to us for Russia. It is a great country that we believe will help us, especially in this somewhat difficult period in Madagascar.
Because of the cyclonic period.
We are delighted, and our arrival here is to demonstrate that we are ready to work with Russia in all areas, as you mentioned, Mr. President, in the social, education, health sectors, but also energy.
And hydrocarbons, and also in infrastructure, but also in the armed forces.
We are always ready to welcome you and work with you. Madagascar is ready to open a new chapter after 55 years of work for 55 years. Yes, Mr. President, we are ready to renew a new form of working together in Africa.
Why is Paris trembling? Because the great island is the crown jewel they thought they own forever. When Madagascar moves towards Russia, the French pre-carré backyard collapses. They used to say Madagascar was too small to survive without France. The size of a sea does not tell you the height of the tree. Rajolina is planting a tree that will be watered by the East. He is moving away from the manufactured beggar narrative. He is telling Macron, keep your lectures, keep your conditions. We have found a partner who speaks the language of respect and not the language of the master. If we can be saved, it is you and I that can save ourselves. This is the Ouagadougou effect. It is a contagion of courage from the desert of Niger to the rainforest of Madagascar. The message is the same. The 10 points of resistance are being written in every capital. We are seeing a total mobilization of the Malagasy people. They are ready to defend their homeland, just as the people of the Sahel are doing. They are ready to fight for their vanilla, their nickel, their cobalt, and their dignity. Putin's Russia has opened the door, but it is the Malagasy people who are walking through it with their heads held high. We are not ready to allow them to come into our continent, carry our resources, and make us poor. And at the end of the day, they sit down to tell us how we are coming into their countries and we are doing A or B. Enough. The 2-hour clock has reached its end, but the era of freedom is just beginning. President Rajoelina has brought home more than just agreements. He has brought home a new destiny. The river that forgets its source will soon run dry. Africa is remembering its source. We are the source of the world's wealth. We are the source of the world's future. To the West, we say the cage is empty. The eagle has taken flight. To Russia, we say let us build a world where the beggar is a myth and the sovereign is the reality. Ouagadougou leaves, the Sahel leaves, Madagascar leaves. Africa is home. Africa is home. It is time that you and I come together. The unity of Africa is in our hands. We are the only ones that can change the fate of our continent and set ourselves free. Forget about the paper independence you claim you have. The African is never independent. And this one we need to be told by our own selves. Looking at what we are seeing around us, nobody should tell us. If we have forgotten what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, that political independence is meaningless without the economic independence. And today, Africa, we are suffering because we have political independence. But economically, we are still enslaved. People control everything about the African. When it comes to our economy, they still sit outside of Africa and control the African. And that is why even ECO, a currency that ECOWAS has been trying for decades to launch, is still being sabotaged because France still wants to keep the CFA franc operating in its colonies. So where is the freedom of you, the African? That was why Muammar Gaddafi was fighting for the African to get a single currency. And they did what? They have to take him out. Because when the African gets a single currency and they know we have the pure gold and our currency will be backed by pure gold, they have to do away with Muammar Gaddafi. Using you, the African, to do that because we believe so much in their narratives. If we do not fight for the total liberation of Africa now, I wonder when. When did Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, all these are great leaders, rose to fight for the total liberation of the African? And for how many years has it taken us to get leaders who are ready to fight? If we are not able to defeat these people, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, we should forget about you, the African, ever getting your total freedom. They are no longer here, but they are still operating. They talk, we have reclaimed this, we are to do this, we have to own our narrative, we have to stop exporting Rome. Yet they can never stop because if they do, their masters will replace them. Don't forget about the speech that the First Lady of Sierra Leone told us. At least these things are there to keep us moving. And it should keep the fire in us burning. This is our time. We must make sure the people who have nothing and depend on Africa be kept at their rightful place. They cannot carry the resources from here to make us poor and build all the skyscrapers, and then they tend to look at us and call us poor people. Yet they can never live without Africa. And when Africa is sacking them, they still find 1,001 reasons to continue to stay here. The resources in Africa do not belong to anybody. So for that matter, we need to fight for leaders who will make sure they nationalize our resources. They stop going to IMF for bailout, World Bank for bailout, because these are institutions that are designed to keep you, the African, in bondage. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, Southern Africa, and in Madagascar.